Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo! I see you because I'm exhausted. I am so exhausted. I'm YouTube famous now. Da, 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 da. The album, Dad AF. My baby takes the morning train. He works for... I am so tired, y'all. Woo! Let me tell you about my day, okay? Before we get into the drama of the world, we're going to talk about Jeffree Star's ex and the full interview today. But I also want to talk about Jeffree Star and his history of drama. And I'm going to set up a conversation today that I'm going to come back and revisit either before the end of the year or the beginning of the year. But I want to talk about this interview that I watched so that you don't have to. But before we get to that, I would just like to say I have had the busiest day in the entire world, okay? First of all, I wrapped all of my husband's Christmas presents. They're over there. Then I made our bedroom look beautiful and romantical for Christmas. It's Christmas Eve Eve. Happy Christmas Eve Eve. Then I did a few cameos. Now, let me just tell you, okay? I still have 32 cameos that I have to, look, I got lists, okay? All right here, I got them all listed down. Each person, if you have a cameo for me, you are on this list, okay? I have all 32 cameos that I want to do, very, very special for everybody. I'm trying to get them done in time for Christmas, okay? And then I filmed, are you guys ready for this? I filmed my vlog, got it up today. This is my drama video. I'm gonna do a pre-film a video for tomorrow. I did 3 Peterisms videos because I pre-filmed those. I did a booktube vlog. I did 3 review videos. And I don't think that I'm gonna get to my Peter Does Stuff video that I wanted to do today. Why? Because as I was driving around trying to finish an audiobook that I've been listening to in time for Christmas, The Mistletoe Promise by Richard Paul Evans. It's so romantical. And I was trying to get some last minute Christmas presents for people. I was like, I have to watch this Andre Marhold interview. So I literally just sat down right there and I was finishing my, what is this, Holiday Spice Cold Brew that I tried for my review channel today. It's delicious. So go check that out on my review channel. And I watched the worst interview I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Yesterday, okay, so they did 2 different things on this channel that is called Fox Soul on YouTube. And I just want to say that yesterday I said that I thought this interviewer was a fantastic interviewer. I think he has the qualities to maybe become a fantastic interviewer. But there were some things that he did during this interview that I was not impressed with whatsoever. So I'm going to talk about that. As an interviewer, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But I have 3 pages of notes. I watched this whole 44-minute interview. So they had posted a video previously of like this 11-minute clip. And I think the reason they posted it was because they thought like, okay, this is going to get so much attention that people are going to watch this and then they're going to just come flooding to our channel to watch the full interview, right? Because the first one, the first video was called, Do You Think Jeffree Star is a Racist? Hollywood Unlocked. And it currently is sitting at 5.4 thousand views. It got like no views, okay? The second one, the big interview, the first video was part of the bigger interview. So yesterday when I talked about this, I talked about the smaller part where they just address like Andre Marhold and whether or not he thinks that Jeffree Star is a racist or not. You can go watch that video that I posted yesterday. Then they posted Andre Marhold full episode, Hollywood Unlocked with, and the guy that interviewed him with Jason Lee. Okay, so this was a 44-minute and 44-second interview with Andre Marhold. Okay, this was maybe one of the most bizarre interviews I've ever seen in my life, okay? And the thing that was weird about it was that the guy, this Jason Lee guy that interviews Andre Marhold, he's very aware of the weirdness of this interview. Okay, so first of all, Andre Marhold is sitting in a robe, okay, on a couch for an interview. And Jason says to him something to the effect of like, do you do all your interviews in a robe? And Andre Marhold, who somewhere between Now it's hard to find like what like huge basketball star he ever was, but somewhere between dating Jeffree Star and now, he has assumed the personality of the biggest movie star in the world, okay? When you watch this interview, you really truly believe that you are in the presence of like not just an Academy Award winner, not just a Grammy winner, not just a Tony winner, not just an Emmy winner, but like a quadruple threat, okay? I mean, he really, really believes that he is the answer to everybody's problem. It's the arrogance that exudes in this interview is unbelievable to me, okay? And that was the first thing that was interesting to me. The second thing that was interesting to me was that Andre Marhold really has no idea who Jeffree Star is whatsoever, okay? He says that the reason that he pursued Jeffree Star and went out to Los Angeles to spend some time with Jeffree Star was for peace of mind. Once the peace of mind was over and he got his peace of mind, then he was done with Jeffree Star and he could move back on. Okay, so let's get into this interview. The messiest interview in the entire world. They bleeped out about every third word on the interview. It was so cringy to watch. It was uncomfortable to watch this interview. And I want to talk about why I don't think that, I'm going to go through this really quick, my 17 points, and I'm going to tell you why I don't think that this interview is getting any attention, and why I don't think that Jeffree Star's drama is getting any attention anymore. And I want to talk about that in just a second. So he does this interview in the robe. Then Jason goes into this whole thing about this idea that Andre Marhold like started this conversation of being on the down low, okay? Which is interesting to me. And he references it not just once but twice. That now Andre Marhold is kind of becoming the face of somebody on the down low. Okay, so if you don't know what that means, somebody that's on the down low is somebody that leads like a heterosexual life, but behind the scenes like hooks up with men, okay? The reality of this is that this has been a discussion, I mean, if we really want to get sociological about it, this has been a discussion for literally 30 plus years, okay? And Oprah Winfrey did a huge video about this, literally like in 89 or 90, okay, about the whole mystique of the down low man within the black community. And I remember watching that episode, and I remember it was such a huge deal, and these wives came on and shared how their men were on the down low and stuff. So to say 30 years later, because Andre Marhold got with Jeffree Star in a very public way that he identifies as bisexual, I don't know that I consider that. I was like, what are we talking about? Are we trying to make this more than it is? Or I was very, very confused, okay? I don't know. Let me know what you think about all that. So then it goes into all that. And then he said, hold on a second, that he liked, okay, so he asked them how they like met up and all this kind of stuff. He liked a couple of Jeffree's pictures. You know how Instagram is back in the day. You like people's pictures and then they slide into your DMs, okay? Listen, I'm telling you right now, okay? James Charles is forever talking about people sliding into his DMs. Jeffree Star's talking, and I know they're big YouTubers and all this kind of stuff, okay? I don't think I have ever once, literally, I mean, this is so telling. I must just be, listen, I must just look like the most, I don't know. Nobody must think I'm attractive or something. And I'm not saying please bring him on because I'm a married man, but like I have never once had people like slide in and hit me up in my DMs like this. And I don't think ever once, you know? So it's like so crazy to me when I hear these conversations of these big YouTubers that are meeting people on, and if that did happen, I just want to say this, like if that did happen, I would be very, like, I mean, I've had people, like, come in there and say, like, hi, and, like, oh, you're attractive, or whatever, you know? But, like, I block it immediately. It's like, okay, that's, tell me you liked a video. Tell me something I said inspired you, you know? Like, that's, okay. But, I mean, we all want to think that, I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words. We all want to feel hot, you know what I mean? We do, right? But I don't know why these big YouTubers would trust going into somebody's DMs on Instagram. I mean, how many of you out there, if you received a DM from a huge Instagram or a huge YouTuber or influencer or whatever, right, wouldn't show 10 of your friends immediately? You know what I mean? Like, I think when you kind of put it in that context, it's like, I'm kind of surprised they do trust these people, you know? So anyway, So then Jeffree Star slid into his DMs, they started talking, and then he realized that they had so much in common. They had so many things in common. And I'm like, what? What do you have in common? Nothing, okay? Like, literally, this man cannot say one thing. He just says they vibe really well together, okay? I don't know what it is that they have in common. He didn't say in the interview what they had in common. He just said we had so many things in common. Or we thought the same way about things, is what he says. The more that he got to know him, their values were the same. What, girl? Your values? That is something that I would never say, even if it were 100% true. I would never claim to have the same values as Jeffree Star. No, thank you. Not today, not tomorrow, not next Sunday. Okay. Then he goes on and he says, hold on a second. The interviewer says, okay, this is where, for me, Jason Lee lost a lot of credibility. Jason Lee is asking him, like, were you really attracted to him? And Andre Marhold is like, yes, I was. And he goes, but he looks like, and you guys, it was not nice, okay? And I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, now, this Jason Lee has called out Andre Marhold for defending Jeffree Star. He's asking very specific questions. I thought he did a great interview, and I'm like, you literally went, oh. Like, it was so cringy to hear an interviewer, and I don't care what your thoughts are about Jeffree Star, okay? To physically shame somebody like that and call them a name, I mean, I'm not even going to repeat it. And not only that, Andre Marhold turns around and does the same thing to the mother of his child. He says what he's like, have you ever seen this movie? Well, yeah, that's what she looks like without makeup. I'm like, are we really sitting here, two adult men having this conversation, physically shaming people that we're talking about, and you want us to take you seriously? Like, seriously? Like, y'all know I don't love Jeffree Star, okay? But nobody deserves that. Like, what are we doing? Like, that to me, like, he lost, this interviewer to me in that moment, I was like, I'm ready to turn this off. Like, all credibility was lost, okay? You got Andre Marhold laying up on this couch in a Versace robe, okay? Thinking that he's still hooking up with Jeffree Star. Maybe he is, who knows? I don't really care, okay? I think this is the most boring, most contrived. This man, this Andre Marhold, has literally ridden out these 15 minutes of supposed fame, which to start with was really about 6 minutes. And if Jeffree Star had anything else interesting going on in his life, I can tell you I wouldn't be talking about this. I would be talking about that. But this is literally the only thing interesting or intriguing about Jeffree Star right now going on. That is how boring Jeffree Star has become, okay? I went on a rant. Anyway, back to what I was saying, okay? The only thing that's interesting about Jeffree Star right now is this. That's why people are talking about it right now, okay? Because nobody really cares about this, and literally Andre Marhold has ridden this 15 minutes of fame. If it was even ever that to begin with, it was more like maybe 4 minutes and 37 seconds. He has literally ridden it out to the very last second, okay? He hasn't done any other interviews, and the interview that he chooses to do is with this channel called Fox Soul that nobody's heard of, and he's getting 11,000 views on a video. I'm just saying, right? And he couldn't even, like, build up his Instagram. He said if he got to a certain number, he was gonna, like, you know, do this tell-all video. He should have done that. He should have started his own channel and done this tell-all interview. But anyway, so it goes on. You guys, it just was the messiest thing ever. Then this guy asks him, he's like, did you never, like, Google him or look? He goes, no, I had no idea. He goes, I don't care about that stuff. I don't look into that kind of stuff. So, okay, you meet Jeffree Star. You like a couple of his pictures. He talks about how he liked some picture of him in a tux or something, I think is what he said. And then Jeffree Star slides into his DMs. They realize that they have compatible values. I don't know what those compatible values are. And then Jeffree Star says, why don't you fly out to Los Angeles? Andre Marhold has some friends that he hasn't seen in a while in Los Angeles. So he's like, okay, 2 birds, 1 stone. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, like, I don't know, get to know Jeffree Star and see if we vibe. And then, because most people have the last name, I just... He doesn't have any idea what this... He still to this day has no clue really what Jeffree Star does. He says he walked into his house and it was a pretty nice house. Okay. So he never Googled him or looked into him or anything, right? So then he goes in and he talks about this picture that went viral. I didn't realize the picture went viral, okay? When I think of viral pictures, I think of, like, that girl that was like, I love my Gersberg's books. Do you know what I'm talking about? or Charlie bit my finger, okay? Like, that's what I think about when I think of viral. I don't think of a picture of Jeffree Star and Andre Marhold out in some field in Wyoming as viral, okay? But apparently, there was the picture where Jeffree Star's on his, like, in his lap. Do you remember that picture? I showed it on a video. I'm sure I showed it on a video, okay? I've made 15 videos about this. I don't care! So then you ask me, why are you talking about it today, Peter? And I'll tell you why I'm talking about it today, okay? Is because the only other thing to talk about is that Trisha Paytas responded to James Charles, and I can't drag that out to make a 20-minute video about that. Facts. And I really did want to hear what Andre Marhold had to say in this interview, but it's foolishness. It's the messiest interview in the world. So then he says, okay, that so I don't know who this they is, some team that Jeffree Star supposedly has working for him, suggests that he take a picture, like a brand picture. And then he says that he was just being used like a prop. You think? Yes, that's exactly what you were being used like. Okay, then he goes in and he says, the guy asks him, it's Jason Lee, do you think that it went viral because people think that Jeffree Star is racist, or do you think that it went viral because you're black? And basically he says he thinks for both reasons. Okay, then he goes in and he says, he starts asking him all these questions about his ex-girlfriend, who he says was never his girlfriend. He refers to her as his baby's mama. He said he wants nothing to do with her. He's never wanted a relationship with her, but he basically had to fake it so that he could see his son, okay? He contradicts himself because he says that he was having sex with her once to twice a month, more than most married couples. Sorry for calling y'all out, but that's the truth of the nature all day long, okay? Then he goes in to say that he wasn't really having sex with her that often, maybe once or twice a week. He needs to stop this OnlyFans stuff and give marriage sexual counseling is what he needs to do, okay? Because he's getting it on more with this, his ex, whatever she is, that he doesn't want to be hooking up with in the first place than most married couples out there are, okay? But all just to see his son, which is really nice. And he does speak very highly of his son, but he doesn't speak very highly of the mother of his son, okay? Which, quite frankly, when he later comes back and says, when he is asked, why do you think Jeffree Star liked you? And he responds, because my character is the most attractive thing about me. Yet he refers to his mother, or the mother of his child, as looking like the woman in the movie Orphan, without her makeup on, and says all these horrific things about you. I think, personally, speaks to your character. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, okay? How somebody speaks about the mother of their child, to me, speaks of their character. But maybe I'm wrong, okay? That's why I'm not real big when moms and dads speak horribly to their children about the other partner if they don't like them, okay? I was very, very blessed to be raised by two parents that could not stand each other, but you know what? I hardly ever knew that because they never fought with each other and they put up a real good front to co-parent for me. Thank God, okay? So can we stop talking about your partner, your mother or father of your child in that way, because your child is the one that suffers. So if you want to get in an interview and act like you care so much about your son, stop talking negatively about your son's mother, okay? My dad would never have let me get away with that crap back in the day. I mean, never would he have ever let me talk about my mother in a negative way whatsoever. He would have said, you don't talk about your mother that way. So then if I had witnessed my dad speaking that way about my mom, I mean, this whole interview, you guys, is just, it's a mess. So then he, okay, says stuff about his ex, whatever. Then he asks him, did you get any money or anything out about him? He's like, what money? What? It's like, I said this yesterday in my video. It's almost kind of like he watched the Diane Sawyer interview with Whitney Houston, because some of the things that he says, I mean, are almost identical, you know? Like when she says, what receipts? He says, what money? There was no money. He says it almost, it's kind of like, for me, I was like, now, I watched that Diane Sawyer interview because that's one of my favorite interviews of life. So anyway, he says no money was exchanged, that they just really had a great vibe together. But then, Jason asks him, do you think they used you? Okay, so here's the situation, okay? My parents went away for a week's vacation. And, okay, so here's the deal, okay? So they take this picture. They ask him, do you think anybody will be able to identify your tattoos? Why? Because they don't want anybody to find out who he really is, okay? Because they don't want everybody to know the history, and then once he gets the, okay. Jeffree, you used the wrong person. I'm just telling you right now, okay? So then he wakes up with Jeffree waking him up saying, your picture's gone viral. You have to put your Instagram on private. And he's like, I'm not putting my Instagram on private. I don't really care, okay? So then he asks him, because there's like, Jeffree took this picture of him cooking chicken in the chicken in the kitchen. Jason Lee says, I did not like that look. It was a bad look. Do you not realize like the symbology going around all this? Andre Marhold is like, yeah, I didn't really like that when it happened, but I never really like, you know, all this kind of stuff. So then Jason asks him, do you think that you were used? And he goes, yes, I do think that I was used. Okay, but he's defending Jeffree Star. So confusing. So then he goes in and Jason asks him, why do you, wait. So then he says, they go into this whole racist conversation I talked about yesterday, where he says that he's not racist towards black people, he's not racist towards Latino people, but he might allegedly be racist towards Asian people, because on the daily, Jeffree Star does the Asian accent, is what Andre Marhold says, okay? Then he goes in and he says, why do you think people think that Jeffree Star is racist? Apparently, Andre Marhold has not done any research into this whatsoever, because he says his music career, and that because he was signed with Akon, that when Jeffree Star was playing in Atlanta, he got a lot of backlash. I was so confused over this line of thinking, I didn't really understand it whatsoever, okay? But no, Andre, if you're watching this, that has very, very little to do with why people think that Jeffree Star is a racist. You can look out there and see the video clips of, okay. So anyway, then he goes in and he says, you got to understand that, he goes in this whole thing about stereotype racist, okay? Just defining that. Jason's very confused. He says that Jeffree Star does not use black racist terms towards black people. He uses them towards white people. And that the reason, supposedly I'm guessing from all of this, that he says something like, and that's why people think that Jeffree Star, What? It's not okay. And he says in there, and that's not okay, you know? It's like, have you ever watched like Tug of War? It's like, this interview was like Tug of War, okay? It was like he would put something out there, he would pull it back. He'd put something out there, he'd pull it back. And I'm telling you right now, okay, whatever conversation occurred behind the scenes with he and Jeffree Star, I don't know, okay? I don't know if he felt coached to me in this interview, right? Jeffree, if you're watching this video right now, this interview did you no favors whatsoever. None. Okay. So then he goes in and he asks him if he had sex, and he says no, because something about, I don't know, being too big or something. Yes, gal, we've seen you advertise your OnlyFans, okay? You have a big wing-a-ding-a-ling-ding-ding, okay? I hope it brings you $9.99 a month and many memberships. But he said something about that, and then it goes in this whole conversation about this guy that he dated, who I had to look up because I didn't know who this person was. And then I was very confused, and it got very sexual. A part of this, that was very weird to me. In the I don't know. It just didn't seem like a highly professional interview. Then Andre's mom apparently really likes Jeffree and was so happy that they were together, and that Jeffree wanted to FaceTime his mom. You figure it out. I don't know, okay? And then, okay, then he said that he went into this whole thing. Okay, this was the end of it for me. Was that he said he couldn't do anything and that he felt like he was a prisoner because Jeffree was constantly watching everything that he watched. Something about like the cameras were shooting in on his DMs or something like that. I don't know. But then he said that it was because supposedly Jeffree's ex cheated on him and with transsexuals is what he said. I was like, okay, this whole interview, like, just everything about it is so problematic, and just, I don't know, it just, there was so much that was put out in this, and like I said, I have seen today that more drama channels have picked this up, but I'm really surprised more people aren't talking about this. I mean, like, if any of this is, like, true of what he said, I mean, this is very telling of Jeffree Star, right? And then yet again, here you have, okay, another person who Jason Lee says is defending Jeffree Star. You have a person defending Jeffree Star in an interview coming out saying, I don't care if it's Asians. I don't care if it's people that are Latino. I don't care who it is, okay? Here's yet another person saying that Jeffree Star makes derogatory racist statements. There. This is the person, okay? And he's defending Jeffree Star, you know? Okay, so I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, why does this interview only have 11,000 views on it, okay? When literally Shane Dawson's series with Jeffree Star got 25 million views of video or something ridiculous like that, okay? You're telling me, and listen, I know that people don't care about Andre Marhold. I get it, all right? But are you telling me that the people out there that love Jeffree Star aren't a little bit interested in this, or they don't know that this is out there, or whatever? If you want to know where it's at, it's on Fox Soul, okay? You can go over there and check it out yourself. I'm not going to link the video. I'm not going to do any of that. It was the interview is problematic, okay? But here's the thing. Jeffree Star is somebody that rode real high, and this is the part that I wanted to talk about because I think this is the part that's important. He rode for a long time on this drama and being problematic, okay? I even think to a high degree that Jeffree Star really benefited to some degree on this idea and this alleging of his, like, who he is, okay, at his core, and his, like, what his real true values and character are, right? I think even that questionability has really benefited Jeffree Star. The problem is that Jeffree Star has not been willing to come out and address these issues to show that he's changed, to show that he's a changed person, okay? Other than, I'm a changed person. Jason Lee even calls him out in this interview for mentioning Breonna Taylor in the apology video that he did, right? And that, like, and he was like, were you aware of that? And Andre Marhold was like, no. And I mean, like, Jeffree Star has, I don't even think he realizes it at this point, that he has really, really sunk himself with this drama. What used to be a selling point, okay, for his makeup, because we would talk about how, like, oh, all us drama channels used to talk about how, like, they would release drama right before they had a product come out. You know, Jeffree Star would get on a plane for Europe and cause some drama like that. So for the next 3 days, everybody was talking about Jeffree Star. But I don't think it's benefiting him anymore. I think, in fact, the drama, it's too much drama. I think the drama has really, really, really taken Jeffree's career to a point that I don't know that he can do damage control over it anymore. And this interview being out there is not doing any favors whatsoever for him, you know? And it just was some of the language that was used in this interview and the bleeping out constantly of the words and the name calling and the physical body shape. It just was so much, you guys. And then it makes you even think, if this is who Jeffree Star is aligning himself with, if this is the person that Jeffree Star has similar values with, if this is the person who, like, I mean, they vibe so well with, why would anybody look up to that, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, it's problematic to me. And people don't want to hear that. You know, I still, on every video that I talk about Jeffree Star, people come on here and they say, leave him alone, let him do his own thing, blah, blah. I'm a drama channel, okay? You can get over that SHI tut. I'm so tired of hearing that. I'm so tired of people saying, don't make Jeffree Star videos anymore. I'm a drama channel, okay? Listen, you go pick up one of those rag mags, you know, at the gas station, Us Magazine or whatever. They got 15,000 pictures of Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians in there. How do I know? Because I used to do magazine videos on here. And you can go back and you can watch those magazine videos, and it's constantly the Kardashians. Why? Because the Kardashians are constantly in drama. Okay? Jeffree Star's constantly in drama. You know, had this video not come out, I think Jeffree Star would be doing real well this week. He hasn't really been doing a whole lot of this week. But then here's my question. If Jeffree Star isn't riding high off of drama and getting a lot of attention, who cares? You know, his mystery boxes didn't sell at all. They didn't sell out, nothing, you know? His launches aren't selling. He's moved states. He's not interacting with any beauty influencers. Jeffree Star literally, back in the day, a year ago, it had to be Jeffree Star approved for people to want it. Nobody cares anymore. He's literally, Jeffree Star has dug himself into this point of being irrelevant, you know? That's crazy to think that. That just a year after the Conspiracy Palette came out, the biggest seller of all, the series and everything, that Jeffree Star, nobody cares. He can't pull more than 11,000 views on a video with somebody that was his ex. If this was Nathan Schwant, are you telling me that people wouldn't have swapped to that video back in the day? It would have been all over, you know? I think that this has more of an effect on Jeffree Star, and I think Jeffree Star is somebody that for a very long time tried to control drama with befriending the drama channels. Hell, I used to talk to him, you know, and he's talked to a lot of the drama channels. I think he thought he had it all figured out, but really, to be honest, the drama's bit him in the ass. It has. The drama that was really pushing his career for a very long time has now been the thing that's been the downfall. And I don't really think that people going into 2021 are really that interested in all this drama anymore. And yeah, the people that watch my videos on a regular basis, you know this, okay? Most of you out there are the ones that like the fan flipping and the funny stories and all that kind of stuff. Y'all don't care about Jeffree Star and Andre Marhold. I know that, you know? But hell, I'm a drama channel, and I'm going to keep on making these videos and putting my opinion out there, because you know what? I got one. Like I used to say, opinions are like, you know what? We all got one. Anyway, I hope you guys have the most amazing holiday ever. I might make a video and pre-film it for tomorrow. I may not. If not, I will be back on the 26th. Let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. I love you guys very, very much. Thank you so much for watching this year. And I will see you after Christmas if I don't pre-film a video. I love you guys, and I will see you then. Bye.